Today we are making homemade sauce.
We're making homemade tomato sauce, my mother's recipe.
Canning tomatoes.
Today we're making pasta sauce.
We're making sauce.
We're canning tomatoes.
Oh, the steps are a lot of things to do.
It's an all-day process. It takes a long time.
Takes a whole day almost.
Well, we're not done yet, so it's going to take probably about 6 hours to make about 150 pounds of tomatoes.
Well, first you got to go to the store and buy the tomatoes.
We picked up 3 cases of tomatoes. They're 50 pounds each. The tomatoes were washed.
The pain in the neck process was taking the cores out of the tomatoes.
Then you have to cut up the tomatoes.
Then you have to cook the tomatoes.
Then you have to boil these pieces until they're soft.
The most difficult part was the constant stirring of the tomatoes in this huge pot. You just got to keep stirring and stirring so they don't burn on the bottom.
Then we put them in the machine to crank to make the pulp.
Through a machine that takes all the juice out of the tomatoes and throws away the skins.
The machine we have, you have to crank by hand. Now, if you had to crank it by hand, it would take forever to do. You ready to go 21st century? We hooked up a drill to it, and it actually came a lot better and a lot quicker. But if we didn't do that, cranking them by hand would have taken much, much, much longer. But the drill worked out great because it shoots the tomatoes through there and purees it really quick.
Put them in the jars, add whatever seasoning, garlic or basil that you want.
Basil and garlic. Basil and garlic.
And then you put them in the jars, and then you put them in boiling water so they seal.
Then you got to make sure the jar is sealed so the tomato in the jar can last for a while.
Take them out after 30 minutes and have them rest.
You got to remember, it's probably cheaper to go buy nowadays a jar of sauce in the store. But it's all about getting everybody together, having a good time, having lunch together, having coffee together. So sometimes it's not all about just a jar of sauce. It's more about the family getting together and everybody having a good time.
Just can't wait till we all sit down and have a big pasta dinner and enjoy what we all worked hard doing today.
We all got together and we made it. Everybody put their hands in there. We all put their hands in their bliss. Bon appetit.